Carter, Jay-Z. Sean Corey Carter, Jay-Z. President Future, Visible Invisible, for what we want to know. And we want to know, will he get arrested? Will he snitch on someone? Is Blue Ivy his biological kid? What we should have asked, is Blue Ivy her biological kid? Because I know it's his biological kid already. Yeah. Did he kill Aaliyah? Wow, did he unalive Aaliyah? Can we not write it like that? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of like twisted.
Who is he paying to get out? To get out of what? He's not in anything yet. And is he getting a divorce? Is he getting a divorce? And then is he the next one to go down? And for what's hidden behind darkness, and the God of the saints with answers to our questions. Here we go.
Amen.
All right, here we go, guys. First two coming out on Sean Corey Carter, Jay-Z. So right out the get-go, it's saying that there's a lot hidden that we don't know. And it's saying there's triumph with him going down, or him going to go down. In the crossing of that, it's talking about him afraid and him kind of rolling the dice or seeing what he can do to manage that. So, and we all know that with money, you buy power. And I think that's something that Jay-Z has in his pocket, power, money, judges, attorneys. I think there's a lot of that. But I think now that he's being so closely looked at, that's going to be a problem. What's around that, it says darkness. So there's evil here. This is magic, dark magic, black magic. And this is a big part, I think, of what Jay-Z and Beyonce are a part of. And being a part of the religion, you don't have people dressing up as Oshun and then doing rituals unless you're a part of something that, it has to do with magic or santeria or even, palero or whatever else. And so looking at that, it's very clear that they're a part of something, but it's not in the clear form, it's in the dark form. And then past-wise, it talks about being blinded by what he wanted or where he was trying to achieve, and being able to keep everybody's mouth closed and quiet and surrounding them with swords. And you see that in the card. In other words, whoever he dealt with, he knew he had enough on them or for what they've done to control. So you gain a lot of power and control when you invite people to these parties and you have, high-end officials or even, actors or actresses and stuff, and you get them in a place where you can get them vulnerable and you get shit on them. Like, no offense, but nobody wants to be put on blast for getting nailed in the keister by another guy just to prove, whatever they want to hold you onto. So the moment you say, well, I want this, like, oh, wait a minute. I don't think you're in any place to bargain here.
What I got.
Let me let you look at this. And then you look at yourself being, whatever. And you start to realize, like, what the fuck? Like, now I can't say shit, or there goes my whole career. It says, so here comes the child. So it's talking about the child, but I can't see yet because I got to throw on top of it. So it just tells me it's there and it's in the present. It says, and then it brings up the world, like where maybe his status in the world, or like you guys are asking about stuff. So it's saying the world in the future, or maybe that's who's going to judge him. Going up this way is going to be hard now because I don't have no room. Michelle's been hogging here, and so's Martha.
There.
That's better, a little bit better. I can go up the side here. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. It's gonna fall though. You gotta go like that. Okay. All right. So then it talks about where his weaknesses, the chink in his armor here, and here's what happens. You guys saw it in the Me Too movement, and I'm all for women who have been taken advantage of. Come on, my clients are 98% women, and I fight for them all the time. So to say I'm racist or biased would be bullshit. If anything, I'm more of a protector of women than I am of men. And so when I see this, here are the weaknesses, and this is taking advantage of people's weaknesses. You know what I mean? It's also talking about and bringing them to their knees and bringing him to his knees. And again, and I said this to you guys, and I said it to everyone, that they're going to fool them and then take everything from them. And so they used them to get what they wanted, and they accomplished it. They have all these people under their control, right? And now they're going to use them and bring them to their knees because, you didn't protect me. But again, he went up and above and beyond. It says, at this point, it says, there's no depression. In other words, he's not worried about it. And I think even Puffy's at his mind is still not completely worried about it.
They're very overconfident.
Yeah, because they have people in high places. It says, and a list was just released. And then it says, but he's not happy with it. Not happy with the situation. And then here it says that there's no triumph. It says with the lovers. And so that means that whatever he did do, and you guys were asking, did he, participate in this kind of stuff, or was he involved in that one particular incident where there was a minor that was 13 and some stuff happened? I'm not going to get directly into it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It says, and they're not going to be on his side. They're not going to back him. Like, they're coming after him. Like, and when you start getting a lot of people to get involved in a movement, then all the truths start coming out. It's saying at this point, there's nothing good that can come out of this for him. There's triumph, like it says, triumph financially, and triumph being able to manipulate people who, let's say government-wise or whatever else, who you have, senators, you could be all kinds of different people. It says, but in the end, nothing good's going to come out of that. It's going to take people down with him. It says, and then there's an angry woman. And so that represents to me Beyonce, which she's the double-edged sword. She can't just abandon this fool, because then people will question, well, why suddenly is she leaving it? But if she knew about all the shit that was going on, which that has still not been revealed yet, that there was somebody else in the room who they don't want to reveal yet, that was directly watching with Diddy and Jay-Z. They're saying, is it Beyonce or is it not? So she's angry because now everything's going to come crumbling down, and now, your kids start hearing about this shit.
I was just going to say, she has a kid old enough to understand.
Yeah,
there's
like,
kids.
It's like when it happened to Kim. Suddenly she's like, okay, my mom's a porn star. Like, dude, I don't know. I wouldn't be cool with that. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have a choice, but.
I know, and then the kids bullying them at school.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, your mom this.
Yeah. Oh, your mom, she sucked my you-know-what, and I heard she's really good. And okay, anyways. So, you got a little carried away. All right. So we're going to go back to the center, and this is for Corey Carter, or Jay-Z. And it's talking about what's hidden and triumph. Okay? It says he's not discontent in the moment. It says, and there is a woman who is upside down. So here's the girl, again, what happened upside down with them. It says, and she did go through hardship. So, and he, I guess at this point in his relationship, he's trying to kind of hold things together, but she knows what he did. Yeah. And this little girl's coming after him. And she's not a little girl anymore, of course, but they're coming after him. And he's going to be attached to a lot of other things. It says there are tons of different opportunities to come after him. But then there's tons of different opportunities for him. And that's why they want to find out who it is. When you have that much money, that much power, they're not going to assign a bodyguard to you if you're the one coming as the whistleblower. You're going to be vulnerable to everything and anything. And they should, in the law, automatically do that when it's something this magnified and this big. Yeah. Because you saw that with the mafia hits in the old days, where as soon as they found out who it was, they took him out, and that person couldn't testify against him. And we're seeing a whole new type of mafia right here, right now, controlled through the music industry. It says, here we go. It's asking, you're asking all these questions, and it's saying to me, will he be afraid and make a mistake? Or will he roll the dice and make a mistake? When you look at P. Diddy and everything that happened, he rolls the dice and starts getting on the phone in the jails, and he's saying everything on the phones, and they're hearing him, and he's calling people saying, hey, you didn't think I'd call you? You didn't, what the fuck? And then he has notes written. I mean, I guess he's just blatant. It blatantly feels like, I can do whatever I want. At the end, I'm going to win. It says, at this point, justice goes upside down on him. So for Jay-Z, justice he's going to go upside down there. He's going to go down. It's just a matter of time. Unless he can buy someone. I don't see that yet. It says no miracles for him. It says it's going to be a little delayed. It's going to take a little bit of time to get to the bottom of this, but it's going to complete itself. What's meant to happen is coming back 360. It says, and there's no justification or no defense. Yep. So I said it was going to happen. Now the seat of my cards makes me really small because I wanted to do this reading. And and it's not because I'm against him. I love his music. I'm against what you do to kids.
Yeah.
I'm against how you hurt, innocent people, and I'm against women being hurt. And some of you are a handful, but
We don't deserve.
you don't deserve that. You know what I mean? We all have choices. So seeing this, I'm not smiling out of joy. And it's just like with Brian Thompson, the CEO that was murdered. People are saying, like, how could you be happy about that? Man, the same type of execution that was given to him is the same type he was giving to people all around the world who their insurance was denied. So I have a hard time feeling empathy. It's not the right thing to do, but I still have a hard time. And I think if that really started happening, there'd be a lot of changes in this world. When you start to get to a point where you're too greedy, I mean, come on. And Jay-Z was greedy. He had a lot of money. A lot of money, pulled a lot of strings, and so did Diddy. And so, I mean, come on. He's a multi-billionaire. It says, but also what comes with that is darkness and evil. And it says, Beyonce's upside down with him. He's trying to like get back and kind of be loving with her, because when you've taken it so far, this, I guarantee, wasn't the only ritual he's done. I'll put money on it. And not the only time he's been involved, and none of that stuff. And you're asking me what happened in the elevator with them, and it was because he was fucking around. He was fucking around, and she knew it, and that's why the sisters, when they're hearing everything, and it got a little crazy. He was fucking around. I'll put my life on it.
Becky with the good hair.
What?
Part of Beyonce's song. She wrote about how he cheated on her, so she made her Lemonade. But the girl.
She wrote a song about that?
Yeah, it's a whole album called Lemonade. So one of the songs, it's not called Becky.
The water machine again.
Yeah, but basically, she says, "I know you've been cheating on me. You've been cheating on me with that Becky with the good hair."
That's funny. It's talking about the burden, the burden now that's coming on his back, but the burden that he created for not only him but for his family. Wow. It says, and it's all coming back full circle. It's returning. It shows the card returning. If it would have been the other way, leaving it behind, here it's returning. So everything that he's done is coming back. It says he thinks he's a king because he's got all kinds of money. You see him there in green.
Overconfident.
But again, because he thinks he's got enough to win. Yeah, untouchable. And he does have, I'll be honest with you, Diddy's powerful. He was powerful in his own right with what he did. But Jay-Z was the main dog. He's the main honcho. He's his handler.
He's in the shadows.
He's in the shadows. Yeah. So now we know.
You called that.
You guys asked about Blue Ivy, and it's saying, okay, so she's not past. No, that's not different from the past. So she's definitely Jay-Z's kid. All right, I'll tell you that now. It says, but she was in the right place at the right time for this to happen, which means, right, that Beyonce wasn't pregnant, but they faked the pregnancy so that because he had a kid coming with someone else, and that's how, when you want to call it a surrogate, I call it a cheating. And so, did I say that out loud? Mm-hmm. Well, I'll put it out there. And so in order to make it look like it was his kid, because he's going to have to support it and just take care of it,
they made her look
pregnant. Here comes the kid. And she would never know. And a substantial amount of money was paid to keep this quiet.
Is that what you mean by Kathy White?
I don't know who Kathy White is.
Apparently, that's the person that they said that is Blue Ivy's mom.
I'm just saying, bro. So, there you go. And it's saying at that point, it says, something more healthy for them. So again, the scandal would have been tremendous. He has a kid out of, his marriage. And then Beyonce looks like a fool, because that's humiliating. Sure. And so what better way than to pay for your way to get out of it? Yeah. And you're hearing it first from me. I don't think anybody else has said this. But yeah, he cheated, got her pregnant. She wasn't going to give the kid. He said, well, let us buy you out. And I'll raise the kid because I'll give her a better life than you can. And I'll give you a substantial amount of money to have your life again. And then that way she'll never know. And
they pulled a Michael Jackson.
And the kid is never going to know. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They will now. It says so that there will be a new beginning. So that's the birth. Her birth was a new beginning. Wow. There it is. You guys wanted to know. Inquiring minds want to know. You got it. It says, in this world, for Jay-Z, this is a good reading. It says he's not angry, and he can't get angry because it's going to turn back on him. It says, but I'm reading his cards, and that's my card, and it's saying, either really for him, there's no obstacles. He's got a shitload of money. Between the both of them, they're multi-billionaires, they're a power couple. He's got a lot of people in his back pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. When you're having an event and you're a senator and your daughter or your kid wants Jay-Z to come perform and you go perform for one of the people, guess what? You literally take that ace and stick it in your pocket because now that senator owes me a favor. I didn't charge him because one day I might need him. And so does that attorney, and so does that judge, and so does that. Exactly. And so you start to build this powerhouse. And I know because when I was very wealthy in San Diego, I already had judges and police officers and everybody who owed me favors for helping their kids. And at the end of the day, even when my kid got in trouble, they came to me and said, we want to talk to you about it first and see if you can control it before we have to go and press any charges. And when I got in trouble, they came play closed so they wouldn't arrest me, and embarrass me, and trusted me to walk with them. And they're one of my clients, one of my kids that I helped, they're both parents were sheriffs. So if I can get that kind of treatment, and I know to me I was an icon in my community, then you can get that kind of treatment when you have it all. And it says a fool. He's a fool. It says, even though he thinks like he's got it like that, he's a fool. He's a fool to think that they don't have everything worked up on him already. So when people, let's just say this. When people come at you in a federal indictment, I told you this.
Yep, they got you.
In a federal indictment, it's
they
because they have everything
airtight
on you. And right now, they've done this very, very sequentially. They released the lawsuit with Casey to shake up the room, see what he's going to do. And in that, he was already getting set up, P. Diddy. Now, they release out that this kid is involved he's involved with, the essay of a minor with Diddy, which now connects them and now gives you the obvious view or perception that if he did do that, then he was a part of all the parties and everything else. And so they're doing this like, fuck, it's perfect. They have it set up so perfect. We leak out a little bit, speculation comes. Now people are running around to hide shit, do shit, and release out a bit more.
It's a lot of nervous people.
And then they go after the arrest. And who goes down? And then there you go. So pretty interesting here. Then it talks about, again, we're doing Jay-Z, talks about taming the lion. So controlling the things around him that he can control with money or with influence. And so he's trying to control this, but it's out of control already. Just the fact that it comes out that he's committed as accused, for entertainment purposes, accused of SA. The next day he's out with Beyonce.
And his daughter.
And showing us, we got to make it look like you're not guilty. We got to make it look like.
Where are you?
She knows, bro.
Front.
She knows, bro. That's all I'm going to say. She knows. It says, what do you mean? You already knew. Oh, my God. And don't tell Sam that because she'll flip out. It says, he's been fortunate in a lot of things. It says, and quickly or slowly, he says, he's going to try to make this problem go away, but it's going to be a battle. So there's going to be some casualty here as we go. He may be the one that skates. He may get arrested, might go through all this shit, but he might be the one that skates because he's a handler and he wasn't, unless they can prove this one, but that's a civil lawsuit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They got to bring up charges on it. So he has the ability to skate on this, which is interesting. And then it says, where am I at? Right here. And then it says, and the sun could shine for him. So if he plays it smart and he uses his influence and his money and his stuff, he may be able to slip out of this, but he's not going to go make a deal because that'll make him look guilty. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't realize that there's too many of them now. And if he was even at those parties, you know what I mean, when they were going on, and he saw things happen, other people are going to say, well, he was there. He was there. He was there. And suddenly, that doesn't just make you someone who's visiting. You become a what?
Association. Complicit.
You become an accomplice. Mm-hmm. Okay? There we go. It says that he doesn't want to be brought to his knees. It says, and he's seeing that some of the relationships that he had opportunities with or benefits with suddenly are going back. And you guys always send me that emoji, not emoji, but meme where, what's his name from the Simpsons? Where Homer Simpson starts going into the grass. Uh-huh. And that's kind of what happens when your name goes out there and you're associated with something that nobody wants to be a part of. It says, even his family is kind of pulling back a little bit. It says, but he's not alone. He's not alone yet. It says, and he's not worried. He's not going to be brokenhearted here. He just needs to find a new road. Like, he's got to figure out a way to maneuver himself through this. But I told you guys, the elite, they're not the elite. They allowed them to feel as they are part of the elite. So they can use them when everything starts coming down and take them down and take everything they have and take all the money they have. Because it all goes to them. Basically what it's saying. It says, depressed. He doesn't want to get depressed. He wants to return to being that person that kind of shines. It says, along with Beyonce, but it says, and he doesn't want they don't want to be destroyed. It says, but there's a lot of stress here. It's starting to mount. Because now, it's not just a rumor or something that's on social media. It's in the news. And when it hits that type of news, the media, there's a problem. Because the media is controlled by the bigwigs, right? Mm-hmm. So all of the media, except for Fox, is controlled by BlackRock. And when you fuck with BlackRock like P. Diddy did, and you fuck with BlackRock like Jay-Z may have, or, they're saying to back him up, whatever.
Guilty by association.
When they start putting out shit against you on the media, you're done. Because literally they're like, I'm not protecting you no more. And it's a fact. It says, and there it says, and there's three things there. We can check that or we can go on.
Check it.
It says, he's got to find a way to balance that. Like the money, the everything, he's got to balance everything right now. Because now people are reaching in with their hands saying, well, pay me. Now you need my help. Pay me, motherfucker. Like, pay me.
Do you think he's also like setting some accounts offshore? So like,
I'm sure he has them.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's had them a long time ago.
The minute that Diddy shit hit, he moved his shit.
Oh no, I think that shit was moved way before that. Yeah. If you're smart and you got that kind of money, you move your money out of the country. Yeah. And if you're making some of it illegally, you definitely move that motherfucker out of the country. Pay a high price to get into Switzerland, and then those bank accounts are yours, and you just put it under someone else's name. You put it on your mama's name or someone else. It don't matter as long as she's alive and she signs it over to you, you get that money. But it's talking about balancing that. It does say, there's certain people he needs to cut off their heads, or people that need to be getting rid of. And this is how you know that when you see all this stuff, and no offense to anybody, but this is a minority way of trying to handle shit. When you looked at Hillary Clinton, and I'm going to say it, whether I get kicked off or not, everything she did was calculated as hell. Because the media was protecting all that, and when you saw suddenly this person committed suicide, this person did this person fell off a bike, this person got hit by a car, this person was stabbed all of a sudden, and they were supposed to testify, and all the people that were witnesses to her shit disappeared. That's how you really handle it, but they didn't see it coming right away because they must have turned against their white gods, and those are the people who are controlling the shit. So, interesting to say. It talks about big money going to get spent for this to go away, if it's going to go away. It says an impatience. Like, we need to get rid of this shit. We need to cut this shit out right now. When bad media comes out, you don't want it to continue. Because more and more people see it and more it grows.
And more people are going to come out.
Well, they have to do control.
Especially when it comes to money.
What happened with Cassie? Cassie was the first one to pop up. Then everyone came out.
Because it's payday.
Yeah.
And then in the future, it talks about not being happy, like not happy. It says this is something he may not be able to master. It says, and even with all the witchy stuff that Beyonce does and her spirituality and all that shit, it says things are going to come to an end. She may jump ship. If they don't put her in that room, she just did
lose all her money too.
She just did a thing where she used, instead of using his last name, she only used hers.
Oh yeah, she's no longer Beyonce Knowles Carter.
She's already disassociating herself.
Yeah.
Distancing herself.
What is that? She has to. She has to save her ass.
And she's going to lose it too.
But what if he turns on her? It says true love though. Like she does love him. But maybe that's just the way they're figuring out so they can still have money. Because if they take all his shit,
they're going to take hers too.
No, they can't.
Community property?
Yeah, but if she gets divorced first, they can't do shit. Come on, she changed her name already to Knowles. Yeah. So she's pissed. It says, block him. Maybe she's just going to block him. She truly loves him, but maybe she needs to block him. I think she suffered as much as she's what she is. And I'm not going to talk shit, but whatever she is, whatever she's done on the dark side, whatever she was getting money from, all the shit that she was doing.
She did suffer when he cheated on her.
Yeah, she suffered because she was in love with him.
It hurts.
Yeah, I know. I'm human. Some half. But, and then it says, and God's right there. So God's going to come to collect. And this is because when you're hurting kids, at some point, the big guy's like, you crossed the line. And you crossed it for far too long. And now I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. And you can see the energy in the country shifting. It's totally shifting. It says, at this point, even Whoopi Goldberg on her thing turns around and says, like, we need to give this guy a chance. Trump, we need to do all this stuff. So what they've been trained to say, and what they're saying is they're seeing that people are revolting. And so now, give us the truth. It says that there'll be no triumph. It talks about there being triumph for him. It says, but no lovers. Like, he's not going to be, any of the people who are supposed to go up against him, Jay-Z, and maybe this one person, isn't going to change their mind. They're going for it. And they're definitely not going to reveal it until he's indicted. Wow. And they'll probably have to put that person in protective custody because they could come after him. It says, and there's nothing good that's going to come out of this. It says, at this point, which is really interesting, saying at this point, you know, he doesn't know how to move forward with this. What do? He already put out a statement. It was a bullshit statement, right? It was rehearsed. Yeah, it was more of a political thing. And trying to blame everybody else. But never once he said, I didn't do this. Not once. He doesn't say, I didn't do this. I wasn't a part of this. I wasn't there. He doesn't say any shit like that. He just says, it's called deflection. Mm-hmm. Denial and deflection. What is it? Defend, depose, and deny. Yeah. And that's exactly what they're trying to do in their situation. And it says a woman, he says a woman who's seeking money, it says, but she's not looking for opportunities. They showed her no love when they took advantage of her. Mm-hmm. And it's saying that, and left things in her life incomplete. This is a fact now. It says, so yeah, she's going to turn this whole house upside down. She's going to turn it all upside down. It says, an angry woman who scorned. It says, and there'll be no change with that. It says, there'll be no seeing eye to eye on this or reconciliation. She's going to go for the whole gamut. It says, and at this point, it says, you know, there's temptation to get even, of course. It says, but they haven't made that decision yet. So right now, she's involved in a civil suit, right? She can turn around and, because there's no statute of limitations, and file a criminal suit. Mm-hmm. But it hasn't happened yet. It says, at this point, it says, there's no karma on her. She's not doing anything wrong. It says, the lies and deception, the deception and the lies were a never-ending circle that was happening to everyone involved with these people. It says, and now? Now comes the celebration. Now comes the celebration of all the people who were hurt and taken advantage of. And so this is a big-ass thing, and I'm probably going to get hit for this. I won't doubt if I get a defamation thing to take this thing off. But I don't really give a shit. That's what it's saying. That's what I believe now. I've been wanting to do a reading on him because I've always kind of known. He came up so quick and so powerfully, mm-hmm. and then ends up getting into the black bill, which is really tough to get. I mean, you have to be wealthy, and from old school. Because whether you guys know it or not, and I'm sure a lot of you do, there was a lot of Afro-Americans or blacks that were very fucking wealthy in the old days.
And they got their money.
They had a lot of fucking money. That doesn't mean that they had the rights that they should have had, but mm-hmm. they had money. And so they had stayed on their side of town and did their shit. But that don't mean they weren't rich as fuck. Yeah. And so the black bill was created. And so he became a part of that. To become a part of that or be accepted in that was a big fucking thing.